record on this. Perfect. So this will be like a little complicated things. Okay, not complicated, important, and very dynamic thing. You should understand this. This is like advanced Alteryx. Okay, advanced, but not complicated. Okay, simple. Okay. Just observe carefully. So this I have a data. So what I should do, my requirement is I need to make sure I will increase my I will add tax amount to it 10%. I mean, basically, I want to add 10% of the amount what you see here to each of the row. So tell me how to do it. I mean, basically, I want to multiply with 10%.
Formula tool.
Formula tool. Perfect. Perfect. So everybody says formula tool. So this is before tax amount. Column is called before tax amount. I will name it as after tax amount. After. Okay. What is after tax amount? Before tax amount
into 10%.
Into 10%. Perfect. So instead of that, observe carefully, instead of directly doing into 1.1, so I'm doing like this plus, okay, this plus before tax amount into 10%, right, divided by 100. Is this formula also correct?
Correct. 10%, sir.
Yeah, 10%. Correct, right?
Yeah. Yes.
It is already giving. Let's run and see. See, it is giving 10%, right? Same formula, right? Same formula I wrote in this way. Okay. Why I wrote, I'll tell you. Okay. And I'll create one more variable called tax percentage. Okay, perfect. Tax percentage. What is my tax percentage?
10%.
Yeah, tax percentage is my 10%. So I'll make it a little above. I make it first as tax percentage. So tell me one thing, can I replace this 10 with the tax percentage what I created?
Yes.
Yes, right. I'll make this tax percentage as in, and this one also output also like fixed decimal of 2 decimal places. So instead of fixed 10 20 like that, I'm making a little dynamic. So I'm telling tax percentage. So now also I'm getting same output, one extra column called tax percentage 10 10 10, and then this. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So I can store it in the output. So let's see how to store this one output. So I need to store it in the delete this folder. So this folder. Okay, some demo or macro, standard macro dot excel sx, and then 3 pipes. Yeah.
People are waiting in the lobby.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I have added. Only one guy was there. So yeah, I don't think anybody is waiting. So it ran. So output is generated. Okay. So one more guy is waited in the lobby. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So this is how it is. My tax percentage is 10, and then it is multiplied with 10. Perfect, right? Making sense. So now my requirement is I need to make this as a dynamic. I need to give an option to the user where user can enter how much tax percentage he need, right? Then it will be more dynamic, right? User can able to enter how much tax percentage you need. So if it is 10 20, I'll keep multiplying and I'll give it to you. Correct? Interesting. So now let's see how to do that. Okay, to do that you have to take a sample set of a data. So this is my input data. So let me take 4 rows or 3 rows or 2 rows, whatever sample set basically. So this input may be dynamic. Okay, tomorrow you will get 6 more records with a different different numbers. So this is dynamic, but I'm taking sample set of a records so that I can create a macro. So I'll just paste it here. So now I have a sample set of records on the same formula. See, I'm not doing anything else, nothing. See, same formula I'm copy pasting. That's it. Okay, same formula I'm copy pasting. I'm not doing anything. So now tell me, So we are creating a macro. So I need to make this as a macro input. See, convert this to macro input. Then I should make this as macro output. I mean, like in the output, I'm not going to store it in the output. Rather, I'll make this as macro output. Okay. So what I did, I'll delete it. See here what I did. Same thing, copy. Workflow, you're understood the workflow, right? Workflow is created perfectly fine. Let me save it. So maybe this one. Um, for, I'll just say, okay, a workflow. Okay. See, what is the extension of this workflow?
YXMD.
YXMD, correct. So same workflow, I'll just copy paste. Okay, so since I want to create this as a macro, so I'm just right clicking, convert to macro input, right click. There is no convert to macro output, so rather you delete and take macro output here. Simple. I didn't do any extra. So now when I save this one, say here, I'm telling SM. Okay, I'm saving it with the name of SM. So when I enter, so tell me what is the extension of this?
YXMC.
YXMC means a macro. Macro extension is YXMC. Okay, so now if you see here, so this one, so when I click on this white space canvas, when I go to workflow, so do you see this one as a standard workflow? What is the type of workflow? Standard workflow. When I go to YXMC type and click on the white space canvas, when I go to workflow configuration, see this became automatically macro because we added macro input, macro output. Okay, so any of the tool, what you say, for example, this formula tool, you see this input anchor and output anchor, right?
Yes, sir.
Input anchor is coming from input macro input, and output anchor is coming from macro output. So we have macro input and macro. See, like when I go to the new window, when I right click, insert. So now SM is also my macro, correct? SM is one of my macro, correct? Macro is nothing but the tools embedded to perform a particular action. Okay, tools embedded into one to perform particular action. So all these are all like, so you can convert, multiple tools with only one tool. See, I'm showing you. I'll just go insert macro SM. See, this has an input and output. Which is this tool? Tell me. This is
The
nothing
one
but
that we created. Yes.
yeah, this one only. So now I want to make it dynamic, right? So now you understood. So when I if I want to use it, see, this is my input, or you can add a couple of rows. So my input is got changed. Yeah, you may add this, and then some date, same copy paste, some date, and then some number, and then some name, right? So now you can insert, I mean, like, okay. So that's it, no configuration. When I run it, see here, I'm getting 5 rows as an output with tax percentage of this much. So I can tell this tool will help you to increase your amount into 10%. Can I say that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Instead of writing a formula, so you don't need to write it. Now just insert this tool and then just go ahead, right? So this is one thing, okay? But this is not so dynamic. So now let's make a little dynamic, okay? Okay, let it be like this. Okay, this is my tool. Okay, so now I need user to enter this number. Okay, 10, 20, or 15 or whatever. User to enter this number. Tell me how user will enter. So when I show you, these interface tools are related to macros. So tell me, so how user will enter? Can I take text box? See, now you understood why macro input and macro output, right? Macro input is to read, macro output is to display, right? Now, so radio button is to check. So text box is to write. So can I tell user to write in the text box like 10, 20 or like that? So can I take
Yes,
this one?
yes, sir.
Yeah, that is one option. Or else the best option, because here we will say numbers. So can I take this numeric up down? This will be nice for the user option. So
Yes.
when I'm keeping numeric up down, okay, numeric up down. So I'm telling, please enter, please enter tax percentage. Correct? Please enter minimum tax percentage. I need 5. Maximum tax percentage, I can go up to 40, and incremental by 1. By default, you keep it 10. Okay. Decimal places, no decimal places. I'll save it. Okay. Now you want to see how it looks. Okay. So now view. Okay. Somebody go to mute, please. Okay, so now when I go to view and interface, so this is how your interface looks. See here, please enter the tax amount. I can go up, down here. Okay, so here I can't edit it. So this is how it looks. Okay, you can just, just see the look, how it, actually appears in the front end, right? So view and interface designer. So now interface designer looks good. Okay, but what we are not done, we are not connected this number to our workflow, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If I enter 40 number, I mean like 10, 20 or whatever, so where it should change, where it should go and replace, tell me.
On
In the
tax
first one.
In the first one, right? In the tax percentage, it should replace this 10, right? So what I'll do, I'll just connect this question, which is question mark, to the action, which is like, lightning symbol. When I connect that, so observe carefully, when I connect that, I'm telling, what, replace my 10 value. Is it clear? Whatever I enter in the up down arrow, just replace that 10 value in the formula 2. So that's what I'm saying there. Okay, cool. So when I this our macro is updated now. Now when I go to new workflow 4, where I am using the macro, right? When I go there, it will pop up saying that, you know what, you are using SM macro here, it has been changed, was refreshed. Okay, I'll say okay. This is just a pop-up. It says that, hey boss, you are using this macro, it has been changed. Okay, so that's fine. We changed it, we know it. So now you can enter any of the tax percentage here, say 12. Let's see. See, is it increased with the 12% or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So when I say 20, is it increased to 20% or not? Correct? Interesting.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Now tell me, in the output, okay, in the output, what I'm doing, I'm just displaying the output. But previously what it was, I was storing the output somewhere. But now I don't have, like, I'm not storing any output. See, output is displayed here. Is any file is created in the backend? No, right? But my main workflow was taking an input and storing an output. So now let's store let's store the things in the output. So in that case, you have to copy paste this one only here. Okay, now it is not macro output, rather it is a file output, right? File output. So now when I run it, so let me say Control S. Okay, sorry. So where this output is saved, in the delete folder, right? In the delete folder. So now let me run this one. Okay, why there is an error?
File name is already there.
It already exists
Yeah,
here.
it is already there. So let me go and delete this one, right? This is the file. Okay, let me run. So what I gave, so instead of 20, let me give 30, right? 30. So do you see output anchor here?
No, sir.
No.
Why?
Because macro we are giving it function that it has to stop after. Because
We don't have macro output. Correct.
Because in macro, we don't have output anchor.
Correct. If I keep this macro output also, see, I'm telling this is to view. I mean, this is to store, this is to view. So now can I see macro output there in the, output anchor there?
Yes, sir. We can see.
Yes. See here. So it is appeared or not? Correct,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So I'm giving 30 now. So now what happens when I give 30? So it will also display in the output anchor, and also it will also store because I'm giving two here. So let me run it. See, it displays my output 30%, right? Tax percentage is 30% is added, and also here it is generated. See, 30% added. Perfect. So now tell me, if I give this workflow to you in your system, is this path exists? I mean, C, Alteryx January. So this part doesn't exist in your system, right?
No.
So I need to make little more dynamic. I mean, I need to tell user, hey user, please enter output destination path where you want to store. Making sense?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So now tell me, for user to enter number, I have taken up down number. So now tell me which tool I should take to enter a path. Maybe
Text box.
yes,
Text box.
text box, right? Perfect. So text box, I will drag and drop, right? Where should it go?
Output.
After
To
the
output.
outputs.
Correct. After, so connect that to output tool. Perfect. Simple, right? Connect that to output tool. Tell me one thing. So here user will enter, you know what? Store it in the C, store it in the desktop. So what it should replace? It should replace with your path, correct?
Yes, sir.
Till how much it should replace? Till delete. Yes or no? This remains same. Excel file and sheet remains the same. Only thing is change in the path because user enter only path. Okay, so you need to change till delete. I mean, you need to replace till delete. So I'll just go on to the action. See, whenever you just connect these two, action tool will automatically come. This is called an action tool. See here, action tool. Action tool will automatically come. So it will say like what action you need to perform. So I need to replace the file path. So double click on the file path, whatever you see here. So till how much I need to replace? Till
Delete.
correct. sm.xlsx, right? And sheet remains same till delete. Whatever he enters path, it should replace with till here, and then sm dot xlsx should remain same. So let me save it, right? Let me save it. So now previously I was getting only one up down option. Now I'll get one text box also, right? Text box also, correct? So text box configure a little bit, say, please enter file, no, destination file path, destination file path, correct, where you want to store. So that's it. It will display that is just a display purpose. See, when I commit, it says boss, your macro is updated. Yes, I know it is updated. Just say okay. See, you got this or not? Correct. So now what I'll do, I'll go to some other file explorer. So maybe in the documents, right? In the documents, I'll just create a new folder, right? So I'll give this path. So maybe you have this path in your location. Maybe you just copy paste. So this is so dynamic, right? So I take it 35%, 40 is maximum. So or else let me take 5%. I'll just paste it here. So now when I run it, where it will show, where it will store?
Documents.
Document
Document,
folder.
right? So if at all it is storing in the same delete folder, it would show an error saying that file already exists, right? Okay, so now let me run. See, no error means it is not storing there. Rather, it is storing in the documentation because it is replaced. See here, documentation new folder. It is replaced the path. So now it is dynamic or not? Tell me.
Sir, I think we need to make sheet name as dynamic thing. Is it necessary?
Okay, tell me one thing. If I want to make a sheet name as a dynamic, user should enter sheet name also. Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you make sure, so you have to tell him, you know what, please enter destination path along with the file name, along with the sheet name. In that case, you can directly replace entire path. But generally people will just refer please enter whatever, like path, so that they can rename the file anyways, any which ways. Okay, because people will forget to write these pipes and all those things, or else you can also mention and then keep pipes and then replace. So that's all your wish based on the application. So now you understood how to replace, right? Yes, no, what is the issue?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yeah.
So now tell me, user forgot this. I'm not entering this. Okay. So I'm running it. Okay. I'm getting an error. Sheet already exists. See, whenever I'm not giving any destination path, so where it will store?
Old path.
Not old path, where the macro is exists. So where is my macro is sitting? Here, correct? SM. Here is my macro sitting. So it will try to, not old part, it will try to copy the output in this folder only. So when I delete that file, so now when I run it, it won't throw any error because it is going and sitting here only in the same existing path. Or else whatever the path we are in the case of a macro, the path is given is this one, right? So it will reside in this one. Okay, in the path, in the case of normal workflow, if you're not given any path, it will go and store it in the workflow path. Okay, this you have to remember. Now tell me, so this is wrong or not? Right? So user is ran the workflow and then it is stored and he don't know where it is stored. So or else it is not even throwing an error for me. Like this is like file is already exist. Okay, so it should give some pop-up saying that you know what, you should enter this file name. Yes or no? Correct. So for that I'll change the macro. See here, observe carefully. So where is this text file, text box? This is the text box. Tell me, whenever this text box is empty, I need to say, you know what, please enter the path. Yes or no? Please specify the path. That's what I need to display the error message. Correct. So now what I'll do, so there is an error message here, right? Drag and drop and connect to the text box. Connect to the text box. Now observe here how I'm writing. What is my expression? See, tool number #1 is my text box. Whenever that is empty, I need to say, please enter path like that. So I'll just say is empty. Is empty. What is empty? The number 1, which is nothing but a text box. A text box content. See, text box content. So whenever it is empty, I'm telling, so what I should display, if expression is true, display error message, please enter the path, right? So now I'll save it. So now when I go here, see, please enter the path. When I enter the path, it goes away. Is it clear?
Yes.
Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are trying to create a macros itself. So whatever we used, you know what? Unknowingly we used multiple macros. Okay. So data cleansing tool. You remember data cleansing tool?
Sir.
Yes.
This is a macro. It is created using formula tool and what you call multi-row formula tool. How to see that? Just right click on it. You see open macro. Do you see this option? So when I click
Yes,
it,
Yeah.
sir.
see this data cleansing is created like this. See, it is created like this.
What is this?
This is a macro. So when I open it, see here, this is created using multi-field formula, right? Multi-field formula. So since data cleansing is heavy tool, so that contains multiple options, right? So this one is to remove numbers, remove punctuations. So for each and every operation they created one macro, but it looks complicated. But when you go to each of the section, see here, whatever you see is like built using existing tools only, right? Built using existing tools only. So this gear symbol we see in text box, we will see this control parameter as well. Okay, so no worries. So that's how it is. Okay, so now we are trying to create a macro. Okay, I don't know, iPhone 13 Pro Max, somebody is entered. Okay, try to keep your name only while joining the session. So this is done. So now the what is the next step? So now
Then
tell
in,
me, yeah,
one thing in that macro, there is one more symbol on top of that action. Does it signify anything? Or
where
uh, next to
in
that's
that
that rhombus symbol. In the action button, on the top right, there is a rhombus symbol.
this one?
Yes.
Okay, that one nothing represent, that is like action to the action. Okay, but for now, so we need to know the question. See, we are getting a question here, so we are passing that question here, and then we are making that question as an action here. So this symbol, don't worry about it. Okay, for now you just ignore about other symbols. Even you see here question here in the formula tool, so just ignore it. Yeah, just ignore it for now. The question
Okay.
is mainly we will take it from the interface tool, and the action that what you see, it's lightning symbol we connect to make an action. Okay, so this action tool will automatically come once you connect. So this is this is actually a macro. So now one more thing, tell me one thing. So now this was my input.
Sir,
So yeah, tell me.
how do we get the question mark and the lightning symbol? Does it automatically come for macro?
Yeah, automatically when you drag and drop, see here, when I drag and drop up down, see question mark is coming. So you need to connect that question mark to action symbol where it is there, like
But how did we get it for the formula?
no, see, now I'll connect this to formula. See, now you got the action symbol or not? Now you can update it. I need to update that 10 value. That's what we are done here. Clear?
Okay. And sir, we need to save the macro first in our local
Yes.
folder, right?
Save. Yes, you have to save it. Okay, perfect. So now let's go ahead and see something more interesting. Now tell me, now this is like, now somebody changed before tax amount to just an amount. Just an amount. Tell me, is my macro will run? Okay, sheet already existing. Let me delete that. Okay, where it is pointing, new folder. Okay, let me delete that. New folder, I'll delete. See what it is telling? Can you guys read it? What is the error?
Before tax amount is
Par,
Yeah.
sir.
Unknown variable.
Unknown
Unknown
variable.
Amount.
What is the variable before tax amount? What I did, I changed the before tax amount column name to amount column. Yes or no? Correct.
yes.
So where it is using before tax amount, check this out. Which tool? Tool number 6, correct? Tool number 6 and expression 2. See, it is giving very detailed one. Tool number 6, expression 2. So when I go to macro, so that is error in the macro. When I go to the macro, what is tool number 6? See, it's a 6 or not formula. Expression 2. So this is an expression 1, expression 2. In the expression 2, there is a column called before tax amount, but in my input, where I'm giving input, I'm giving input here. This input is passed to macro. In my input, I don't have before tax amount, correct?
Yes, sir.
But what is this macro use? Tell me. Macro use is you can enter whatever the percentage you want. It will just multiply that percentage of amount to your amount column and it will give the result, right? See, I have my input, I have amount column, it is not giving a result. So this is a problem. So now to do this, what I should do, I should tell, you know what, my before tax amount is now just an amount. So I should tell that yes or no. Somehow I should tell that to the macro. Hey macro, you know what, you are using before tax amount, right? You are using before tax amount, but in my input, it is just an amount. So in place of the before tax amount, you take the amount, correct? Somehow I should tell that, right? To tell that,
Yes, sir.
yeah, to tell that, see here, so there are multiple ways. So one way is in the input section. So in the macro input, do you see here show field map in the down?
Sir.
Yes,
Click on it. Yeah. And also here anchor abbreviation, you can keep like I, and then you can keep this as O, anchor abbreviation. So where this will affect, I'll show you. So when I say it, what I have done, show field map, show field map. When I go to the macro, see how it is looking. See, do you see I and O where we entered? I, O, abbreviation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is the abbreviation one. Okay. Now, when I say show field map, so this is what it gave extra. So it says, you know what? I have 4 columns. You know what? I have 4 columns with me. One is order ID. I know you have in the input, you have an order ID. So I have taken order date. I have taken. So I have before tax amount also. So I need to map before tax amount. What is my before tax amount? Amount, right? That's it. So now what it will do, in place of order ID, it will take order ID. In place of order date, it will take order date. In place of before tax amount, it will take just an amount. Are you guys are clear?
Yes. So if there are multiple columns, the drop down will include all the columns. where
I'll show
values are-
I'll show you that. Yeah. See here, ran, output is ready. Perfect. Previously it was error. Now it was ready. So now tell me, this is user input. User input may be anything. So tomorrow I may get like, some other column, some other column, some other column, right? Some other data, that's fine. But what is this macro? This macro is all about, you give a number, I will just multiply with tax percentage, whatever you will give, and I'll give the result. Yes or no? Right? So it doesn't, it should not care about any columns. It should just care about amount column. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What is this macro? It macro takes amount column and multiplies with a percentage of the tax percentage and give the result. So that's it. Is it required order ID? Is it required order date? Is it required a name? It doesn't care, right? It doesn't care. See, I have 2-3 columns extra. 2-3 columns extra. When I run it, let's see what happens. So forget about this because file is already existing. That's fine. So you can see the output, right? Because we kept the output also. See now, so is it given those 2 columns also not? Yes or no?
Yes.
It is given 5% of tax and it is increased 5% also, but other 2 columns also it is given. But tell me, in the macro, I have only how many columns? I have only 4 columns, right? So by default, it will try to give all the columns to you. So that is one thing you have to remember. Okay, by default, it will give all the columns to you. Okay, now I'll tell you how it will be giving in the next example. Okay, so now one more thing is what you have to do. So now tell me, so let me delete this one. Let's not make confused with this. Delete column, till here it is clear. So when I run it, check the output. Okay, check the output. Okay, it is throws an error, ignore the error, check the output. Okay, that is because we are also writing into the sheet, so that's why it is a problem. Sheet is already existing. So now it is given proper output. Can you observe there's a problem in one output? Can you observe it? Anyone? Just observe. Like it is properly taken 5%. Yeah, 5%. It is multiplied, everything is fine, but there is some problem with it.
File already exists.
No, that is there, like no.
Other
Not
new
that.
columns are not.
No, there is no new column. I just have 4 columns. I just have 4 columns. So now there is one small problem.
Dates,
Dates? No,
order date.
no. See, I'll tell you. What are all columns I have in my input? Forget about all other
order
columns.
ID,
Order ID,
Yeah.
order date, amount.
Okay,
amount,
right?
name.
So concentrate on amount column. I was having a column called amount. In my output, do I have a column called amount?
No.
No.
No. Why? It changed amount to before tax amount. it replaced that amount and then it is giving after tax amount. So I should basically I should get this column name as amount, yes or no? So
Yes.
if I give like here sales, so basically I need to multiply sales with 5%. So I multiplied with 5 instead of before tax amount I'm giving sales, right? See, I'm not getting sales. I'm getting again before tax amount. Why it is? Because in the macro, I'm hard coding this name. Like, I have only before tax amount name. I'm not, renaming that name with the name, whatever comes here, whatever it comes in the input, right? So now observe carefully. Now what I'll do. Tell me one thing. This is the input. Assume that this is the input, sales. Okay. So where I'll get order ID, date, sales, and name, where I'll get in this tool at initial stage,
Formula.
Macro inputs to
macro input, right? Here I'll get sales, sales, order ID, and all those things, right? Once I get the input here, then percentage, tax percentage will be changed using the up down number, and also after tax amount is calculated, right? After tax amount is calculated, right? So this is what it happens, but I need to change the name, what is coming here. So whatever initially it comes here, I need to change that name. Okay, you guys getting? So what happens, when I put it here, so order ID will be replaced, order date will be replaced, before tax amount will be replaced with the sales. So okay, that can be replaced, but in the final output I need original names as it is. So now observe carefully. I'm inserting one tool called select. You all know what select does, right? Okay, select tool. Tell me one thing, in select tool I can rename, yes, no?
yes, sir.
I can say before tax amount as sales.
Yes.
Yes, but isn't it a dynamic? So tomorrow, instead of sales, I will give like, just an amount or just a tax like that. So to make it dynamic, so I will connect from input. I'm get a proper, what you call columns. So this is the start of it. So just connect this to your select tool. Connect your question mark to the select tool, because here the where I'm getting original column names, correct? So here the where I'm getting original column names. See, when I connect that to select tool, it says update select with the reverse field map. I mean, whatever the column name is there, so update that with the respective column names. So it will update. So now let's see the output, right? So when I run it, can you observe the output?
Yes, it has got renamed to the sales.
Perfect, right? Yeah. Now user, oh, I gave a sales. Okay, these four columns are my columns, and tax percentage I gave, after tax amount it is gave. Perfect, right? Okay.
Yes,
Any
sir.
questions on this?
So what if you want to change the after tax amount also? The name of the column.
You can okay, you want to change after tax amount name column. So in that case, you have to hard code here only, because that is not coming from the user input. Correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's how it is. Okay. So one more thing. So now, do you guys observe anytime this unknown here? Correct. So there is an unknown column always checked in. So this will allow you to allow you extra columns. So this is the one by default it will be unknown. Okay, this is the one which allow you to extra columns. See, for example, I'm creating one more column, extra column. Okay, so I'll just say 1, 2, 3, okay, so on. Okay, 3. Okay, now tell me one thing. When I deselect this unknown, I'm deselecting this unknown. So observe the output. So when I run it, did I got unknown extra column?
No.
No.
When I select this unknown and save it and come back, it says your macro is refreshed. Okay. When I run it, am I getting an extra column?
Yes, we are getting.
Extra column.
Yes,
So
actually.
now you people understood why unknown?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You're giving that benefit to the user to add an extra column whenever.
If you want extra column to be in the output, just click on unknown. If you don't want extra column in the output, don't click anything. So it is like that.
Sir,
Okay.
it can be any number of rows,
Any number of columns, you mean?
any number of columns here.
Yeah. It can be any number of columns, no problem. Okay. So now tell me again, there is one problem in the macro. So can you guys tell me what is in the macro? So what is the purpose of a macro? You gave me one sales column. I will multiply the tax amount and I'll give it to you. Is these things are necessary? Order ID, I need it. Is mapping order ID is necessary for me? Mapping order date is necessary for me? Mapping a name is necessary for me? Yes or no? Is it necessary?
No.
Whatever the column, I just require one amount column, which is a number column. You just give me that amount column which you want to multiply. I'll just multiply, right? So in this macro should care only about the amount column, correct? So I should get only one drop down. Boss, you know what? Please select the tax amount on which you want to multiply the tax percentage, correct? So now let's see. Okay, now let's see. Now tell me, I should select first observe carefully. So this things are getting little, things are getting added up in the same macro. So don't get confused. There is a high chance of getting confused. Okay. So I'll little, organize it so that, it is better to view. Okay. Now tell me, I should select only one column, correct? You observe, you got the scenario?
Yes, we want to remove the text drop downs.
Text drop downs, correct. So let me remove that text drop downs. From where, for which option it is coming, right? Why, how it came, right? How it came. So I don't want all these drop downs. I need to remove show field map.
maps.
Saved. Okay. Now when I go here, so I need only one drop down to select an amount column, correct? See here, there is a one drop down. So do you see this drop down? Drag and drop that drop down. Okay. I just need one drop down to select amount column. Yes, no confusion.
No confusion.
No confusion. So I just need one drop down. So tell me one thing, what is the input for this drop down? I mean, this drop down will show all the columns what user will having. Yes or no? So if it shows order ID, order date, sales, name, and all, I will go and select a sales, correct? When I click on the drop down, it will show all the columns which are coming in the input, correct? Basically all the number columns. So I just need a number columns, right? So this is my input. So these are all column headers should go to my input of a drop down. Do you guys agree?
Yes, sir.
So here I'll say select the amount column to multiply the tax. Perfect. Okay. So now tell me, I have said, so this in this drop down, I'm telling, you know what, select the amount column on which you have to multiply the tax. Okay. Amount column should be numeric or not, right? So it says shows only the field. So show only the field which is numeric. So I'll deselect strings, booleans, extra, dates, and all time. Correct. So it will only show the numbers. So I'll save it. So once I'll select this number, tell me it should replace with what? It should replace with my before tax amount or not? Correct. Which column we are selecting basically here? The sales column or amount column should go and replace with before tax amount, right? This is the column that we are trying to select there, right? So what we have to do, so just drag and just connect that question to this action symbol and you will get an action tool. So now I should replace that action with the tax percentage, what I'm seeing here, before tax percentage. So there are two before tax percentage. So you have to process, I mean, you have to do the same step for 2 times. So now it will replace first before tax amount. Next time when I drag and drop, now I should replace the second before tax amount in the formula. That's it. Clear?
Sir, please
Sir,
repeat.
can you repeat this? This is not clear.
Okay, cool. I'll tell you. Okay.
Sir, we had already replaced before tax amount with the user defined column, right?
Already replaced with no, we didn't replace, right? Where we replaced?
Like last time we gave sales and it automatically got in output.
No, that I reverse renamed. I didn't replaced. I reverse renamed. So now tell me, what user will enter will be a sales, yes or no? Sales or amount, whatever he need to multiply, correct?
Yes, sir.
So that should replace this, right? So whatever sales we have, it should go and sit here,
Correct.
correct? So this is what we need. Previously what we did, you are confused about previous step and this step. Previously we said, you know what, my before tax amount is, now it is sales. Okay, that's what we said. The same thing only we are saying in a different way, because previously field mapping was there. So I mapped fields, each field. Now I don't want to map each field. I just need to, save only one amount, one amount column. So that's why we are doing in this way. Okay, so sales I need to replace. Sales I need to replace. Where this sales column coming from? Drop down or not? In the drop down, I'm selecting a sales column. So that's why I am just connecting that with the formula tool. And how many before tax amounts are there? 2 are there. So that's why I'll connect the drop down to this formula and replace first before tax amount and replace second before tax amount. See here, I replaced one before tax amount. In the next field, I replaced one more before tax amount. Is it clear now?
So it
Yes,
means
sir.
that if we have 5 before tax amount, then we have to take
You
this
have
5
to
times.
replace with 5, yeah, but that generally doesn't come. Okay, but of course you have to replace with 5 if that is the case. Okay, so that's how things will become
Then,
little complicated.
so
Yeah,
then renaming of the column is no need, I think. Already replacing it with that
sorry,
specific column. There is no need of renaming the column.
where we are renaming.
The like previously we use select and rename the sales when you're giving based on the based on the
Correct,
column. Yeah.
correct. Renaming is not needed. You can delete if you want, but if you keep it also, nothing will happen. Okay, if you keep it also, nothing will happen. Okay, good. When I go here, that's a good one. Okay, so when I go here, sales, so do you see here only sales is there? Correct.
Yes, sir.
Let me see. I'm getting an error. I don't know where I'm getting an error. Let's see. So when I go here, let me run. Yeah, I have sales amount. Yeah, sheet already existing here. See, let me delete this one. Okay, why I need to confuse you people? Okay, delete. Okay, so now it's a clean. Okay, now it's a clean. So now it's not asking all the columns. It is just asking, enter the amount column. So I have two amount column, right? One is extra column, so which I created 1, 2, 3 and all. So I have two amount column. It will show all the two, right? It will show all the two. So you have to select which column you want. So selected, ran, perfectly fine. So this is your final macro. Okay, so what is this final macro? This macro will just multiply with your tax percentage and give the result for you. So that's it.
Sir, what if we have two columns and we want both of them to be multiplied?
What if you have two columns? So that we will see later. Okay, so you see, tell me one thing. If you want to apply the same logic for two columns, so which tool you will use? Same logic, right? You want to multiply sales and extra. See, there are two columns. Okay, sales and extra column. So you need to multiply 5 tax percentage for both of them. So which tool you have to use? Same logic, two columns you have to apply.
In drop down, you have to take two columns. In formula, you have to mention.
No. which tool you will use. Same logic should be applied for two columns. Observe and tell me which tool we have to use.
Multi-field for
Select.
multi-field for.
Correct, multi-field formula. So replace your this one formula with multi-field formula, right? It will work.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how you have to think and do it. Okay. So everything is available. So you have to apply your logic now. Okay. Cool. So now,
Sir,
yeah,
in the last result, there is no change in the result from the previous one.
because I did not change the percentage.
But after we gave that, there should be a drop down. How are we getting a different result? It's the same result, right?
Yeah, same result only. But now you no need to select all the four columns. You just need to select one column. That's the difference. Only one difference. Now, previously, what I used to do, I used to select four different columns, right? Do you have? I mean, like see. Okay, let me go here. Previously, it was like this. Previously, it was like this. Yes or no? Order name, order
Yes.
date, sales, right? Like this, if we used to select. But now I don't want to select all these things. I just need to select a sales column because it is meant for only one column. So it just need one column. So unnecessarily, we are mapping all the four columns. So that's why for that, we changed this. Is it clear? Same output,
Yes.
same logic, only appearance is different. Okay.
So in this case, if in the input text input, the column names are different from the macro input,
Yeah, it
then
works.
then in that case, the output would not reflect that.
Output will reflect it. We used reverse field mapping, right? Instead of sales, maybe tax, just a tax. So I only care for a tax amount, right? So when I run it, see, I got a tax. So that is like sheet already exists. Okay, don't worry about. See, I got tax, I got ID, I got date. See, I got everything. Right, with the proper names and all, because we use the reverse field name, right? Reverse field name we used, and what you call, yeah, right, and the tax amount column we gave tag as a tax only, so it multiplied with 10%, it is giving the result. Okay, so try practicing it.
Okay.
Play with it. It is good. Okay, it is good. And then so that's how it works. Okay,
Sir,
so
one
now,
question, sir.
Mm.
So in that macro, we have given a property where if you don't give the destination file name, we have added a condition that exclamation mark and then we please enter the path.
Correct.
So can we do this using that stop that output without running? If
Stop.
that value of the file path is null, then don't run that output.
It won't run. It won't run. See, it is an error, right? It won't run. See, I'm not giving a path. Okay, I'm not giving a path. It won't run. It's an error. I'm running. It's an error. It won't run.
Okay.
I'm generating a custom error. It won't run. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Cool. So let's move. Let's go ahead and see little more interesting things. So now. So maybe, so I have 4-5 macros here, so I'm not going to touch everything. So you people need to practice a few more things, but I'm going to touch one more, which is pretty interesting. Let's see how it goes. Maybe this one, currency number format, will be best to show you. Yeah. So now tell me one thing. Okay, let me copy the input first. Copy all the records with headers. Okay, so now few things like generating an error if you don't give the output path, and reverse field mapping, right? Renaming and then giving a field map. So those functionality I'm not going to explain it again, because that you can adopt for any of the macros. Okay, because we already teach that. I mean, we already discussed that. So see here. So this is my input, right? This is my input. So basically what I should do is in my input file, I just need to add a dollar here. I mean, like see here, somebody is asked if I want to do the same thing for multiple columns, right? So I will show this here. Okay, I'll show this here too. Okay, now basically I need output like this. So this is my input, right? So copy all the records with headers, Excel. After this, we will take a break. But let me finish this. It won't take much time. No worries. Okay, I need output like this. I need dollar symbol here. And of course, in every row, here also I need dollar space. So do you guys observe? Do you guys tell me how to do it? In the normal workflow only you tell it. So I have an input.
Multi-field formula.
Multi-field formula. Perfect. Good start. So multi-field formula. So I just added a row number. Forget about why I have added. So okay, row number. No. What you said? Multi-field formula, right? Yeah. See, I'm adding multi-field formula here. So after that, what I should do?
Prefix.
Correct. Okay. So what all columns I should select?
Base pay and overtime pay.
Perfect. I need to duplicate? No.
No.
So now what should I write in the expression?
Dollar plus
$. Plus string.
space
Plus toString. Perfect. toString. Which field?
current field.
Correct. Current field we need to select, not base pay or overpay. We have to select current field. That's it. Simple. Okay. Why error? Okay. The resultant is a string, but the field is a numeric. Okay. What does it mean?
We can go to select and change the
No.
field.
What this mean? I mean, like, why it is error? You tell me.
We are
See,
adding a string to the numeric.
No. Not that's not the problem.
Change
See,
output type.
No, tell me what is my base pay type? Double.
Double.
What is my overpay type?
Double.
So what I'm making it?
You're adding a string to it.
String.
Correct. So what it will become? It will become string. Correct.
String.
So I'm not changing any data type. I'm trying to store string in the double. Yes or no?
Yes.
So what I should do? I should change it to string. Correct. Select. Okay. Select and change it to string. Okay, I'll make it 2 number and then okay, that is okay. So instead of here, see here also I can change it or not.
Yes, sir. Change output type.
Change the output type to what?
String. String.
String.
Yeah.
Or string or whatever it is, like, you know, it is up to you. So you can also increase the length a little bit for the safer side. That's it. See, it ran properly. Perfect. Okay. So now what if that is not a number? So I'll also make it 2 number as well, because you know in the input. Okay, let it be like this. Okay, let it be like this. Why to confuse you people? So I need to make this as a macro. Now it is simple. So now I'll keep an one output where you will store an output. Till here it is you people understood?
Yes.
Okay. Now what is my intention is, if I say my data is from US, I mean my data is like, you know, from the US or dollar, like that. If I say like that, so it should add dollar. So when I say it is from euro, okay, it should add euro symbol to it. I don't know. So I can't type the euro symbol, but you know, I have copy pasted. I'll tell you. So when I say it is from India, it should add rupees symbol for it. So do you guys got the scenario?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So now let's see how to do it. Okay. So not a big deal. So let's do it first. Okay. So now I'll just copy paste. Same logic. I'm not changing any logic. I'm just copy pasting. Now I need to make a macro or not, right? Copy paste, come down and make this as a macro. Make this as a macro. Now tell me, first thing is first. So now I need to select those particular columns which I need to make. I mean, like, which I need to make that dollar format or not. Correct. So I need to select a columns which I need to make a dollar symbols, right? One second. See, how many fields I am making? Tell me how many fields I am making into dollar symbol. Two fields. So I should ask user, you know what, user, please enter what all the fields you want to make a dollar symbol. Yes or no? Yes, no, right? So I should ask user, hey user, please select all the columns that you want to, make it as a dollar symbol. Tell me which tool you will use. User need to select multiple fields.
The drop down.
No, drop down is single, right? Now we are doing it for multiple fields, right? Here.
Checkbox.
Checkbox. Where is checkbox? This one. No. Observe. List box, right? List box. So I have dragged and dropped the list box here. So now in the list box, what it should display?
List of columns.
List of columns. Where are my columns?
Input field.
Correct. So I should connect this to this. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now tell me. So I have selected, assume that I have selected sales and tax here. So sales and tax should go here and replace base pay and overpay and then, convert that. Yes or no? Confusion? What kind of confusion? Simple, right? So if I directly connect this to this, then there is a problem because here I have only two columns. Multi-field formula, what are all the columns coming in the input? What are all the columns coming in the input? You should be able to convert all the columns. So better to use a select tool in between. So I'm selecting, observe here, select tool in between. So what I'm telling, you know what? Whatever I have selected here, update that with a select tool. Update that with a select tool. See here. Update select with the multi-select list box. See, I have selected 10 columns here, or else 2 columns or 3 columns. Whatever the columns I have selected, only those columns will be passed forward. Are you guys getting? Only those columns will be passed forward. So when I go here, so whatever the columns it is coming, numeric columns, I should select all the numeric columns and convert to the dollar symbol or whatever the symbol he will enter into it. So now tell me, so this dollar symbol should change again based on the drop down he select. If he selects dollar, it should change. If he select euro, it should replace with euro here. If he select India here, it should replace with rupees here. Correct? Now tell me which tool you will use to display this. I need to display, hey boss, you want to convert to dollar, or you want to convert to euro, or you want to convert to Indian rupees, or you want to convert to yen, right? China's currency. So which tool you may be that better suits?
Sir, one thing I did not understand. You want to add a currency symbol to the value, or you want to convert it into a different currency?
No, I don't want to convert. I just need to add a symbol.
Okay.
So I'll go with the drop down. Okay, in the drop down, so I will add this. Observe here in the drop down. I need to display. Please select the currency like that. Okay. After that, I need to manually enter. So there is no input coming from like dollar and all. It is not coming from any of the input. So I need to manually add it. Okay. Manually add. How to add? name and value. See here, name and value, like that we need to add. So let me add like this, like, the dollar, the dollar. So n symbol I have copy pasted. So let me copy paste it. So like this you have to add. See, now I'm adding. Perfect, right? So now, so whatever I will select, so that should replace with this dollar, right? So just connect this to this, because that should replace, the replacement character is coming from this one, right? So when I go here and then change it to where it went, expressions, right? Expressions, yeah. So replace a dollar. Replace dollar. Okay, perfect. I'll just say control. Okay, let me keep the output. Save. I'll just say SM2. Okay. So that's it. So let's see, like, how to run this workflow. I mean, like, just run and see. Okay. See here, this is my data. So this is my data. So I have a base pay and overpay, right? So I need to convert that to dollar. So just insert your macro here, which is SM2. So now you have to select what are all the columns you need to convert. So base pay and overpay, $2, and I run it. See here, I got it, right? So now if you want, to euro, v string to vw string is a problem. So, but anyways, it is coming in a different way. Let me see. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to tell you. So there is a conversion problem. So because sometimes what happens, so this may become a string, so you have to change a formula a little bit. Okay, so maybe you have to add two number here. Don't get confused. Simple, so not complicated. I'm just adding a two number here, because to convert proper number format, okay, with two decimal places. Okay, okay. So tell me, what is the error?
That special characters.
Yeah,
values.
so we should make that as
W
DW
string.
string or not?
Yeah,
What,
W
what we
string
made?
have.
What we made?
Change output type.
Yeah, we made V string, right? So that's why it is not taking. So now it will take euro symbol. So we got the euro symbol. If I say N, run again, we got the N symbol, right? So if I say something else, rand, you'll get respective symbol. Cool, right? India, we don't have India. Okay, I didn't keep. Okay, keep India, and so try practicing. Okay, is it clear? Any questions here? Simple. I'll tell you one more. Tomorrow, if something else comes, so some other table comes. Say, I got here this one, right? I want to make transaction amount. Transaction amount. See, this file is different, entirely different, right? We used at the initial days. Okay, transaction amount. I want to make this transaction amount into dollars. Insert. So you no need to write formulas again. So many formulas and all. So you already have it, right? So tell me one thing. So it is displaying all the things. I want to display only numeric, right? So do I need to change anything here? Tell me where to change. See, when I select this one, it is displaying all the columns what is there in the input. I need to see only columns which are the number type, because I'm dealing with only number columns. So what change should be needed here?
Near that action.
Where I'm displaying, which tool is used to display all the columns?
List box.
Correct, list box, right? In the list box, right? In the list box, you can say only list of fields, that is byte You don't want these things, right? You don't want these things to be listed. That's it. Simple. Save. Come back. Just say okay. See, it says only 2. I mean, it says only 1 because only transaction amount has the number field. So now when I say euro, see here, transaction amount became euro or not? Yes, no, any confusion? We added a euro in transaction amount, right? So now one beautiful thing I'll show you. Okay. See here, this is my macro. What it will do, it will convert. I mean, like it will just add your particular currency to particular column, right? So I'll say that as maybe like, you know, a currency number format, currency number format. See, go to view, okay, interface designer, go to interface designer, go here, right? See, okay, let me show you again. So we are just, you know, saving this macro. Okay, we are just saving this. We already saved this macro, but we are giving one symbol to this macro. Okay, how to do that? Go here, sorry, view, interface designer, see custom icon, give a custom icon, go browse. So any of the pictures I have, so this currency picture, so just select this one, just say okay. Yeah, that's it. So just, you know, hide this one. That's it. Save it. So now this macro has one symbol to it, right? I mean, it has some, you know, what you call some icon to it. When I go again here, see, will that change or not? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So now what I should do, I should add this in the, you know, toolbars so that other people can use it, right? So other people can use it. So how I'll add it? See, go to view, right? No, go to options, user settings, edit user settings, right? Here you see macros, click on the macros and add symbol here. Okay, so just say macros for Jan 2022 batch, and I should keep that macro in one particular path. So maybe like, you know, okay, macros January 2022 4. Okay, so I have created that macro here, right? Where is it? Where did I save? In the delete folder, right? I'll go here. Okay, this is my macro. SM no currency. Where did I save it? Okay. Okay. It's okay. Give me a second. I don't know where did I save it. Cancel. Okay, what the name I gave? SM2, right? SM2. Where did I save it? In the delete this folder. Observe here, this is the macro. So I just copy paste this macro where in this folder. So now this folder, I'll keep only macros. In this folder, I'll keep only my custom macros, which is created for January 2022 batch. Okay, so I'll copy this path. Okay, I'll copy this path. Observe carefully. This is very interesting. I'll copy this path. I'll go to options, user setting, edit user setting. I'll go to macros. I will add it. I'll say, you know, macros batch January 2022, and then I will add path. So in this path, I have all the macros which I am created for batch 2022 January. So when I say okay, when I save it, so that's it. So in the toolbar, keep searching, go here. See, it's came or not, macro batch January 2022. If you click there, your tool is here. So next time, what you have to do, you have to copy paste your input. Hey, I want to convert this number to euros. Just drag and drop this tool, right? However, we are using other tools, right? Data cleansing, number, all those things. In the same way, you can drag and drop and use it. Isn't it nice?
Very nice.
Yeah, you created your own tool. So in our company, like this, we have like somewhere around 50 macros that we created. Okay, for small things also we will create a macro because that is reusable. Generally, tax percentage for audit people will be reusable, so we create one macro and keep it. So like that, right? So, and also maybe like extracting some date formats in particular, or converting all the numbers into proper number format. So we will create one macro and then keep it, so people will use, because that is like regularly occurring scenario. Okay, cool. So let's take a break. Let's come back, or let me do one. No, let's take a break and come back at 9:50. Yeah, somebody was asking something. Okay, let's come back at uh, let's come back at 9:59. Let's come at 10 o'clock. Okay. Let's. Hello. Are you guys back?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now again, like same story. I need to multiply the tax percentage again. So you tell me the workflow now. So this is my input. Okay, this is my input. So I need to multiply the tax percentage with say 10% for now. So I'll just go to formula tool. I'll go a little faster because this is already done. So I'll create a tax rate, a column called a tax rate, and I'll say 10 for now. And then so I'll say 20, 60. Yeah, that's it. Then I'll create a post tax rate. Only the names are different. I'll create the post tax rate and I'll say this formula. Okay, that's it. When I run it, so it gave me 10% extra, 10% added to that existing income, right? So this guy's income is 40,000. So 10% tax, after tax it will be like 4,000 extra. So it will be like that. So now so what I'll do, so I need to convert this to macro. So my aim is, I'll tell you my aim. So whenever I will say, what, please tell me what happens if I say 10%, what is the value if I say 15%, what is the value if I say 20%. Okay, so if I want to say that, then I need to execute this workflow multiple times, yes or no? Even I convert that as a macro. Even though I convert that as a macro, I need to enter multiple, drop down. I need to run 3-4 times, yes or no? Correct.
Yes.
So in this case, we need to run the batches, in the sense, I need to run the same workflow for 10% and 15%. I need to run the same workflow for these two batches, and 20%. I need to run the same workflow for the 3 batches. So that's why these macros are called batch macros. So which tool will control that, number of execution? Let me make it to convert to macro input. Okay, so now which tool will convert, control the execution of batches? Okay, so one tool is called control parameter, which will control your execution of the batches. So now observe carefully. So now in the workflow, when I say what is this standard macro, correct? Standard macro. As and when I will drag and drop the control parameter into the canvas, and when I click on the white space and when I go to the workflows, see, it became a batch macro, because this control parameter will make your macro to batch macro, because this is controller for the batches, right? Simple. So now let's see how it goes. So when I drag drop here, right now, so batches are depends on your tax rate, right? Batches will depend on your tax rates, whatever the tax rate you have here, right? So what I'll do, what, replace this tax rate, whatever the input you are getting in the batch. That's what I'll do it here. So what I'll do, I'll go select, right? I'll go select this one, and then I'll say, replace the tax rate. Replace the tax rate. Simple as we've seen in other things. So replace the tax rate and also like, take output to C. So this is the output. So now I will save it where it is. Yeah, I'll say batch macro. Okay, I'll say batch macro. Now everything is perfect. So now what I'll do, I have this input. I have this input. Observe how to insert this, BM macro here after this tool.
Right click,
Insert
insert macro.
macros, BM.
Yes.
Perfect. So now tell me how many input anchors it has?
Two.
Two. Did I give two inputs here?
No.
No. So one input is this and one more input is this, because this controls the batches. Okay. Now I'll show you how it is. Okay. So this inverted question mark is for batch input. Do you see this inverted question mark?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So now I need to run this two batches. One is for 10%, right? One more is for 20%. Yes or no? So this is my actual input, correct? I will connect this actual input to the proper input one, and then I will connect this one, batches, number of times I need to execute this. So what it will do, it will take the input and it will execute for 10, and it will take the input again and it will execute for 20. Okay, clear? For that, you should select this, which is the control parameter, field in the questions. You need to select which is the control parameter field, which is a field one. So or else let me say batches. Okay, just select the batches here in the questions. Just select the batches here. When I run it, observe here how many rows were there for my input. 4. In the output
Should be 8.
See, 10%. Okay, again 10%. Okay, there I have fixed the tax rate, but see, it is multiplied. First is 10%, next one is 20%. Okay, so don't get confused with this display. This is no more needed. Is it clear?
Yes. But,
Okay. Tell me.
but this, if we get that output in the same table, it may lead to confusion. But what if we want to separate these two values?
What if you want to sub? I mean,
Like,
you
let's
want
say
two
the
outputs.
10% should be in one table and the second one should.
No, in that case, you have to, separate it again, like, using filter tool or, any of the tools, you have to separate it. But actually it runs for every batch. That's how it gives. It will give only one output, final output. Okay. So, but we generally, this is not a proper scenario. I'll tell you a proper scenario. For Bangalore, it is 10% of tax. For Mysore, it is 15% of the tax. For UP, it is 30%. See? So I'll just change my inputs. Check this one. See, for Bangalore, 20%, Mysore 15%, UP 30%, Pune 8%. Is it clear? So now tell me, I need to group. I mean, whenever this is my input. Okay, whenever Bangalore comes, it should go to Bangalore here and take this tax percentage. Yes or no? So for each of the cities, this batch should run. So I'll just connect here. So in this case, I will tell, group with the city, and what is the control parameter? Tax percentage. Just select the tax rate, what we have. So that's it. So when I run it, see here, only 4 records. Bangalore, 10%, right? Pune, I don't know, 15%, I guess. UP, 30%. See here. Is it clear? Making sense? Batch macro. Batch macro contains a control parameter which controls the number of batches. So if I don't give group by, so tell me I'm not giving a group by, how many records I'll get?
8
8. How many batches it will run? Tell me.
to
16.
4,
Four,
16.
four batches it will run. 4 into 4, 16 records you will get. You won't,
Yeah.
if you don't give the group by, see 16 records I got. But what is the use of control parameters? So let's do group by with the city. If city matches, take that batch. Only 4 records. So that's how it works. Now you understood the use of batch?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So now let's see one more macro called iterative macro. Iterative macro. Quickly we will see that iterative macro. Little like challenging. Yeah, tell me. Anybody wants?
Sir, can you give some instances in real world scenario where we use this batch macro?
This is the real world scenario, right? See, for example, for US tax percentage is like 30%, right? For more than 10 lakhs or $10, I mean some $5,000 of bucket. So for India, maybe 20% of the tax. So this is a real time scenario only which I picked up. First one is like dummy one. So this is the second one is a real time scenario only. Or else maybe, do you remember like in the first day when we tried to read 3 files, it gave me an error. Yes or no? Because one was not in a proper schema, right?
Yes. Yes.
So in that case, you can create a batch macro. So in the batch macro, you will read a file, and in the select tool, you will convert all the data types to string format. You convert all the data type to string format. After that, you will give all the list of file names to the batch. You will give all the list of file names to the batch. So it will read one by one file and it will convert every file to string format and it will give the output. So now all the three, all the 3 files will be merged. So you guys try it. This is my assignment. In the first class, we tried merging, 3 files. It just merged 2 files, right? So using the batch macro, try to merge all the 3 files. Okay. So that's also one of the real-time scenario. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Cool. So now let's go for the iterative macro. Iterative macro is very little complicated than these macros. So let's see how it goes. Okay, what's my aim is, I'll tell you what I need to do. I need to, it's like, batch macro is something like, you want to repeat the same logic until particular number of times, right? Until particular number of times. But iterative macro is also like that. You want to repeat the logic until some condition met. You want to repeat the logic until some condition met. See, what I'll do now. Okay, this is my just one simple input. This is just 0.1 simple input, right? This is my input. What I should do, I should multiply. Okay, I should multiply this amount. I should check. So in the first day I'm getting $0.1. In the second day I'm getting $0.2. In the third day I'm getting $0.4. I mean, every time in the each day amount is getting doubled. You guys understanding? Amount is getting double. So I want to see what happens to my amount after 30 days. You got the scenario? Yes.
Like a geometric progression.
Correct. See, first day I have 1 rupee. Second day it became 2 rupees. Third day it became 4, 8, 16, so on. So what happens when it goes to 30th day is my question. So I need to run the same logic 30 times or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
So let me take that logic. Tell me what is the logic? Just a formula. What is the logic?
Into 2.
That's it. Yeah, why confusion? Into 2. That's it. Simple logic. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let me make this as a macro then. Macro input. So tell me what type of a macro it is. We are creating an iterative macro, correct? Correct. For the batch macro, we didn't change it to batch macro because control parameter, when you drag and drop the control parameter, it will automatically change to batch macro. But for the iterative macro, you have to go manually change it as iterative macro. Observe carefully. Here I have some five variables, right? When I click on iterative macro, you will get one more variable called iteration number. Iteration number. So iteration number is to count number of times it is executed. So just just take one variable, say number of runs. Number of runs is nothing but my iteration number. Iteration number, each time it run, I will make +1. That's it. This is int. Let me make it int. Simple. You understood this much? Any complications in this?
No, sir.
Till here, fine. Okay. So let me use a select tool, just to change a data type. So this is optional. Okay. Select and let it be like because I'll get decimal places. So yeah, let it be like this. Okay, that's it. After that, tell me one thing. When I ran it, okay, what is my iteration number?
1.
Okay, filled, right? I mean like 0.12, 0. Okay, let me take only 2 decimals. Okay. Okay. So now this is perfect. So now only number of iterations, how many times it happened? Only 1, right? So now let me check the formula too. Okay. If my number of runs, is greater than 30, greater than or equal to 30, then I should stop the execution, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me, it will come to false or true? How many times I ran? Only once, right? Only once I ran. I mean, like, I just ran only once. So 1.
False.
So now it will come to false. So again, somehow it will go to here, right? And then again run, again false, go here, run again, run again, run again, until it becomes true, run again, run again, run again. If it becomes true, then go and give an output. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now just observe carefully. I will take one output. This is my final output, right? Which is my final output? T or F?
T's.
T.
What is F? Intermediate output. Can I say intermediate or loop output?
Yeah, it's a loop.
Loop output, right? So let me keep final output. Can I say this is final output? F final output. I am giving F as a symbol. Clear? Okay. Can I say this as an intermediate output or loop output? This is L. Okay. So now, this L output should again go to the input. Yes or no? Do you guys
Yes,
agree?
sir.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, how many records I have in the input?
1 record.
So again, whatever it is coming here, it should go to this, correct? I have one
Yes.
input here. How many inputs I have here? 2 inputs.
Okay. Yeah, 2.
2 columns, right? 2 columns I have. So I should select only one or not, which should match to input. Only field 1 I'll select. Do you guys getting why I done a selection? Because I want to send this. Again here. So I should match this. I mean, this data type, number of columns with this. Yes or no? Again, 0.2 will go here. Again, iteration number will become 2. And again, it will come here. Again, 0.4 will go here like that. Okay. Simple. So now let's go and run it now. So now that's it. This macro is ready. So now tell me one thing. Did I say anywhere that this is my loop input?
No, sir.
How it will go to here? So I should do some configuration, right? Some connection, maybe like here to here, like that, right? Somewhere like here to here, right? So that connection you will do it in the interface designer. Observe carefully, interface designer. I'll go to settings. So here you have to do few configurations, small configurations. Oops. I don't know what happened. Give me a second. Right. Yeah, so good. Okay. So now I'll go to interface designer. View interface designer. See here, what is my iteration output? Sorry, what is my iteration input? Input, I just have only one. I'm giving input one. Tell me one thing. What is my iteration output? Loop output? Yes or no? Loop output or final output?
Loop out.
Loop
Loop
output.
Loop output. So you have to tell. That's it. Only one thing I need to tell is, you know what? My loop output is iteration output. That is not, complete output. That is an iteration output. That's it. Like, finished. Our work is done. Right. Did you get any confusion? Simple. Go to interface and just say, like, this is my input and loop output is my intermediate output. That's it. So now I'll go, try to use this one. So I'll again create one text input. I'll give the same number, like, 0.1. So now how to use that one macro? Insert
Insert macro.
iteration macro, right? Okay. What I'm expecting when it ran?
It
Final
goes on
out.
final output.
Correct. Is it giving 30 times ran? After 30 times, this is the amount. If you are free, you can do using calculator and tally, but it is difficult. After 30 days, this will do. See, tell me how many outputs we have. One is
Two.
final output, one is loop output, right? In loop output, you don't get anything. Okay, because that is an intermediate result. You won't get anything because that is again passed to input. Okay, only in the final output, you'll get the final. Good. So now tell me, so how many times it is running?
30 times.
30.
So if I want to run 2 times, 3 times, or 4 times, like 10 times, like that, I need
Batch.
some control here.
So we can give a list.
List, no, control, number control. Which tool? Okay, maybe you may be not remembering the tool. So which tool? Now you tell me.
Input. Drop down.
Drop down. No. See, I
Numeric
need
up.
one number control here.
Numeric up down.
Correct, numeric up down, right? So where? Okay, I kept numeric up down. Where it should go? In which tool it should connect? Where I'm using 30.
Formulas.
Formula, in formula I'm using 30.
Filter.
Filter, correct. Filter, connect to the filter. Now which tool I need to replace? Whatever user enters here, what I should replace? I should replace with 30, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
I should replace with 30. That's it. Replace with 30. Save. Now I'm getting here. See, by default, because why it is giving 50? Because by default it is 50. So I'll say by default it is 5 and maximum up to 30 and increment 1. That's it. Save and go here. So by default it is 5. I don't want 5. I just need to run 2 times. When I run it, see here, correct? I need to run 5 times when I run it. See, isn't it nice?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, same thing. Try to apply like this one. Try this one. We checked in the normal simple macros, right? Standard macros. We have applied same logic to the iterative macros. Logic remains the same. Okay, you should think like where you can apply. Okay, cool. So this is what the macro session. So again, like if you want, you can also name it and then configure, and then you can also keep it like say for example, view interface designer, and go here. I don't have any symbol right now, so maybe I'll just give some symbol. Maybe this is this symbol. Maybe it says an iterative macro. Okay, iterative macro, just hide it. So now where it is saved, go here, where it is, new folder. No, not new folder. It is like delete Mm, macros, standard macros. See, this is saved here, iterative macro. So come and keep that in the folder that we created, this one, macros January 2022. So I kept that macro also here, right? When I keep that here, so when I go here, right, when I go and see in that folder, see, now you have two macros. Now no worry about no need to worry about anything, like close everything. And if you want to use any of the macros, just drag and drop it from here and then configure it, use it. Is it clear? Yes, sir. Okay, perfect.
Sir,
So
what is the first field?
first field, oh, first field is your field. That's it. Okay, your field name that you given. Yeah,
This input will be given by user or
this one will be user, and this is also user will give, like how many times you want to repeat.
okay.
Yeah, like whatever the tools you take, no, select tool or whatever you configure, right? This is also configuration, like that. Okay. So of course, if say for example, I have multiple columns, multiple fields. So if you want to select in the drop down, if you want to select only one field user, of course you can do it, right? In the macro, you can show field map. This also you can do, or else in the drop down you can also specify particular field to select, right? That and all we covered. So same logic will works here as well. So keep trying, play around with the tools. So try to create like minimum like 5 to 10 simple tools you create and make it your own folders. And try to keep this in the gallery, Alteryx gallery, so that other people will use your macros. See, right, how useful it is. Cool. Yeah, so let's quickly cover documentation, because that is a small part which can be covered in 10 minutes, like that. Mm, okay, so this is the documentation. Command is, you already know, like you can drag and drop here and you can say something like this. This is like betterment of your workflow visualizations. Okay, I mean, like understanding the workflow. Comments you already know, in SQL also it is there, everywhere it is there, comments. So you can say this macro will multiply the number those many times. So like that, you can you can say like this. So whatever you can write, copy paste. Okay, copy paste, and then you can change it to anything. This is my input. Okay, this is the use of a command. Simple, right? So use of a container. So whenever you have, so this macro I have, okay, so this macro, or else any of the workflow, maybe let's say you have one workflow which is connected like this. So this executes particular logic. So this executes particular logic. Okay, so in that case you can make this as one container. Containers, you can either like drag and drop the container and then insert the tools here. This is one way. Okay, this is one way. Or else I'm doing Control Z. Or else select those two tools and then right click, add to new container, and you can say that this is for this logic. Okay, and again we have some other tools as well, like data cleansing, and then maybe summarize tool, right? So now this you have separate logic, so you can say this is a logic number 2, like that. So this is like organizing your workflows. Logic number 2. So this is the use of container. One more important thing, say for example I want to delete this container. If I delete, the tools inside the container will also delete. This is very important for the exam point of view. Okay, see, if I delete the container, the tool will also tool will also get deleted. Okay, so tell me one thing, why, if I want to delete only containers, what should I do? Drag and
Pull
drop
it
the
out of
outside and then delete this one. Is it clear?
This is clear, sir, but why do we use a container, sir?
Why do you use the containers? One thing is organizing the workflow. Do you write procedures, right? Why you will write separate procedures? Because that represent one particular logic, and you will write like that after that procedure you will give couple of lines, extra spaces, like that. So it is also like this. And also one more important thing with the tool container can be disabled. When I disable it, this logic won't run. This logic won't run. For example, you have an old logic now, say for example, you have an old logic of into 10, but now client said, oh no, you want to use into 20. What you will do? Right click, copy paste, so that you're not so sure. Maybe somebody will come and tell old logic was correct. So better to keep both of them. So you say into 20 here, connect into 20 here, and then this is like old logic that client said not to run. So make this as one more container. See, container inside container is possible. One more container, make it disabled. That's it. For everybody, it is like only one workflow you have, but internally you have a two workflows. Whenever user comes and tell, no, again, old workflow was correct. Then, create one more container here, disable this, enable that, like that. Is it clear?
Yes,
You can actually maintain a well-organized workflow, even copy of the workflow, old logic also you can maintain. So that's the primary use of the tool containers. Okay. Cool. One more is explore box. This is like, it is not needed for us. So you can ignore it. What is explore block? Explore box. I will just tell you, I'll just show you. So when I open with an example, open example. So do you see here? This is an explorer box. Okay. Like, okay. So some, help will be given. So I'll just show you where it is. In one tool it was, I seen just I'll say open example. Okay, so this will be like this. See, URLs will be given. Okay, if you click, then it will go to that respective URL. Like, see here. So this is explore box. So this will give that particular what you call the page description about that. So you have to copy paste the URL. So it will represent to that particular URL. Since we are not writing any blocks and all, so we are not using it. Okay, we are not going to use it. Only we will use comment also we don't use much. Tool container we will use like mostly comments. Instead of comment, I showed you right one, like here annotation. I use annotation more. Here I am doing into 2 like this. So that annotation will show up here. So that's how I will write. I don't use comments. I use tool containers and annotations more. But some people will use comments in place of annotations. So that's also fine. Cool then. So I'm done. So if any questions, ask me, or else feel free to drop off from the call.